Imagine a whisper of silk drifting lazily through the air like a ghost in the wind. It touches the edge of a blade held perfectly still, and in an instant it parts, two halves fluttering to the ground, severed without a sound. This is no ordinary sword. This is Damascus steel, a weapon forged not just in fire, but in the invisible realms of the atom itself. Born from the hands of ancient masters, its secrets vanished into the sands of time, leaving kings and warriors to mourn a legend they could never reclaim. But today, peering through the unblinking eye of the electron microscope, we uncover the impossible. Nanotubes and nanowires, structures we thought belonged to the labs of tomorrow, woven into blades of yesterday. How did forgotten artisans stumble upon nanotechnology, crafting edges that could whisper death through the finest veil? Join me as we chase this phantom of the forge, where history's greatest mystery meets the edge of science. Picture the year 1191, the blistering heat of the Holy Land pressing down on the blood-soaked sands of Arsuf. Richard the Lionheart, England's fierce king, clashes with Saladin's Saracen hordes in a battle that could shatter empires. Arrows darken the sky, horses scream, and steel meets steel in a symphony of survival. But amid the chaos, one weapon stands apart, the curved scimitar of a Damascus warrior, its blade rippling like water frozen in mid-flow, a mesmerizing pattern that seems to pulse with captured moonlight. With a single sweep it cleaves through an enemy's armor as if it were parchment, the warrior untouched, his life hanging on the razor's promise of the edge. This was no myth. Crusaders whispered of these blades in awe, calling them the swords of paradise, traded for fortunes in gold and spice. Kings hoarded them like sacred relics. Saladin himself gifted one to Richard, a truce sealed in shimmering steel. Yet these were not mere trinkets of war. They were lifelines in the gamble of glory, blades that could slice a falling silk scarf, clean in two, yet bend without breaking under the fury of a dozen blows. To wield one was to hold fate itself, to lose it, a catastrophe whispered in the halls of power. But where did these ethereal weapons come from? Follow the trail back through centuries of shadow and Silk Road caravans, to the sweltering crucibles of southern India, around 300 BCE. There, in the crucible hearts of clay furnaces glowing like captured suns, blacksmiths of the ancient Tamil kingdoms birthed wootz steel, a high-carbon ingot, exported across oceans and deserts to the forges of Persia and Syria. In Damascus, the city of jasmine and intrigue, master smiths took these raw cakes of mystery metal and transformed them. They heated them to the brink of melting, hammered them flat, folded them like secrets upon secrets, etched them with acid to reveal the watery damask pattern that hypnotized all who beheld it. These blades weren't just sharp, they were alive with reputation. In the courts of Baghdad, poets sang of their tears of Allah, veins of light that foretold victory. Warriors from the steppes to the Mediterranean staked their honor on them, for in the high-stakes dance of conquest, a dull edge meant death, a fractured blade betrayal. The stakes soared higher with every clash. The Byzantine emperors armored their cataphracts with them. Mongol hordes coveted them as spoils, and European knights, witnessing their feats, begged for the secret, offering thrones for a single ingot. Yet as empires crumbled and trade winds shifted, disaster loomed. By the 17th century, the blades still flowed, arming Ottoman janissaries in their thunderous charges. But then, silence. Around 1750, the forges grew cold. The last true Damascus sword slipped from a smith's hand, its pattern fading like a dying star. Why? The world held its breath. Wars ravaged the supply lines. The Indian mines, rich with the precise whispers of vanadium and other trace elements, exhausted their veins. Recipes guarded like family curses crumbled with the passing of masters who took their chants and rhythms to the grave. Attempts to revive it faltered. European smiths twisted iron and steel in mimicry, creating beautiful patterns but blades that shattered like glass under true strain. The consequences rippled outward. Without these god-kissed edges, the balance of battle tipped. Armies faltered, legends soured into cautionary tales, and the world entered an age of iron that felt crude, unforgiving. For over 2 centuries the art was entombed, a ghost haunting museums and minds, its loss a wound on history's soul. What alchemy had vanished? What invisible force had granted these blades their impossible grace? Fast forward to the dawn of the 21st century, where the hum of electron microscopes pierces the veil of the past. In a quiet lab in Dresden, Germany, a team of scientists cradles a 17th century saber, its edge dulled by time, but its secrets screaming for revelation. They slice a sliver thinner than a hair, bathe it in beams of electrons 1,000,000 times finer than light, and gasp at the images blooming on the screen. There, embedded in the steel's crystalline heart, lie cementite nanowires, tiny rods of iron carbide, each one 1,000 times narrower than a human hair, aligned like soldiers in perfect formation. But that's not all. Encasing them, like guardians from a dream, are carbon nanotubes, rolled sheets of graphene, hollow cylinders of pure strength, each atom locked in a spiral of unbreakable bonds. These aren't relics of rust. They're the building blocks of our modern dreams, materials we engineer in billion-dollar clean rooms to build everything from space elevators to unbreakable composites. Now, let's unravel this microscopic marvel in terms even the forge gods would envy. Imagine the blade as a vast city of crystals, where atoms huddle in domains called pearlite and ferrite, soft and hard in eternal tension. But in Damascus steel, the nanowires act as secret sentinels. When a blow lands, say the thunderous clash against an enemy's shield, these rods snag dislocations, those rogue slips in the atomic lattice that would otherwise propagate cracks like wildfire. Instead, they twist and turn, dissipating the fury, keeping the blade whole. The nanotubes, they sheet the wires, lending a superplasticity that defies logic. The edge stays razor keen, flexing like a willow in storm winds without a single fracture. Hardness from the cementite spikes the sharpness to legendary heights, while the carbon veils ensure it never snaps. It's a symphony of scales, the macro beauty of the watery pattern emerging from nanoscale wizardry. One study sliced replicas under scanning electron eyes and watched impacts. Ordinary steel shatters, Damascus dances. The stakes here? In battle, this meant the difference between a warrior's triumphant return and a grave in foreign soil. Science confirms the law. These blades weren't just metal, they were engineered miracles, 500 years ahead of our wildest theories. But how? How did hands calloused by hammer and heat, eyes squinting through smoke, conjure nanotubes without a single equation? Enter the accidental geniuses of the ancient world, the blacksmiths who danced on the knife's edge of craft and chaos. Deep in the Deccan Plateau of India, where monsoon rains fed iron-rich soils, miners unearthed ores laced with vanishingly rare impurities. A pinch of vanadium, a whisper of molybdenum, elements that modern charts deem trivial but ancient fires exalted. These weren't chosen with foresight. They were the happy accidents of geology, the Earth's quiet gift to human hunger. The Smiths, descendants of a lineage stretching back to the Iron Age, loaded these ores into crucibles of clay and charcoal, sealing them against the night. Fires roared to 200 degrees Celsius, hotter than a volcano's breath, melting iron and carbon into a molten soup where atoms collided in frenzy. Then the drama, the cooling, slow and deliberate, like a storyteller pausing for breath. As the ingot solidified, the trace elements seeded carbides, coaxing nanowires to sprout in the matrix, but the true poetry unfolded in the forge. The master heated the cake to a glowing orange, hammered it with blows timed to the heartbeat. Fold, stretch, fold again, up to 15 times, embedding direction into the grain. Each strike was a gamble. Too hot, and the nano armor melts away. Too cold, and fractures claim the dream. Trial etched into every scar on their hands. Error forged resilience in their songs. They felt it, not saw it. The subtle hum of superior steel under the hammer. The way it whispered promises of endurance. In Persia, they etched and polished, revealing patterns born from those buried battles at the atomic scale. It wasn't science, it was sorcery, born of sweat, intuition, and the Earth's buried stakes. One wrong monsoon, one failed shipment, and a generation's knowledge teetered on ruin. Yet through it all, they prevailed, their accidents etching history's sharpest chapter. This intersection of art and unseen forces reminds us, genius often wears the mask of chance, turning the mundane forge into a cradle of the future. And so, we stand at the anvil of awe, gazing back at blades that bridged worlds. Damascus steel teaches us that the pinnacle of technology isn't always born in blueprints, but in the profound dance between human will and material's hidden song, a mastery so intuitive, it took our mightiest machines to merely glimpse it. In an era of silicon and circuits, these ancient edges challenge us. What secrets still sleep in the Earth's veins, waiting for hands bold enough to awaken them? If this tale of fire-forged phantoms has ignited your curiosity, drop a story in the comments. What legendary artifact haunts your imagination? A like lights the forge anew, and subscribing ensures you never miss the next spark in our series of history's hidden wonders. From blades that bent the atom to carvings that defy the dawn, our journey presses on. Next time we venture to the shadowed temples of ancient Egypt, where a wall etching gleams with the impossible, a bulb of light glowing in an age before electricity. What forbidden knowledge did the pharaohs wield? Hit play and let's uncover the electric enigma together.